Hi guys, I'm Jeremy, and here's the beginning of an awesome 4-week motorcycle trip. We did 3,000 miles around Peru, and on our first day we left Lima and went down 240 kilometers to a town called Pisco, a little town which is actually where they produce Pisco liquor. And this is one of the most popular drinks in Peru and Chile. And at the time I was in that town, I didn't even realize that one of the world's most important substances just lie in the islands next to Pisco. And during the 18th century, this thing was like more important than gold or oil or caviar or anything else. So I'll go into that a little bit later in the video. So here's our first day cruising out of town. We were a little shaken up as we left because we just had gotten robbed at gunpoint about 2 or 3 nights before that. So we were a little shaken up, but luckily things went pretty well for us. So hope you enjoy, and I'll have plenty more videos on my trip to Peru. Not too bad so far. Didn't get robbed, at least, leaving town. Nothing too eventful. It's definitely not like Miraflores or Barranco in other parts of Lima, and even leaving town, it's a little bit more like India. It's definitely really poor. Kind of see why I got robbed the other day a little bit more. But anyway, I guess we drove for about an hour. We're gonna stop, get some lunch, and yeah, keep cruising down the road. The whole coast of Peru, for the most part, as far as I know, is all desert actually. So you think because it's next to the ocean that it'd be green and lush. It's actually not the case. I know there's a couple countries in Africa, I think Nambia or somewhere else is like that too. So yeah, this whole west coast is pretty much a desert. And then of course, once you get higher into the mountains, it's more alpine. And then on the other side of the mountains, it's a jungle actually. So yeah, kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll see much of the tropical areas on this trip, but plenty more things to see if I do come back, and I'm sure I will actually, despite the BS we had to go through on the first night. So I think we'll head to Pisco today, which is about another 167 kilometers, about 3 hours from here. So that's actually the place where the liquor we drank yesterday, that's actually from that area. It's made from the grapes. So I had enough Pisco last night, but never been known to be a shy guy when it comes to booze, so might try a little bit more today. Oh, there's... Not sure if this is mouthwash or what. it's different. It's not that bad, but it's weird, huh?
There's something familiar.
Yeah, mouthwash. Or
is it pig cum? Pig cum.
Huh?
Pig cum?
What's that? Pig cum? I guess this is the Russian salad. Different. Looks good, but I thought it was gonna be like a sweet salad, but it's like beets and potatoes and stuff, but it's good. Nice. Gracias. Oh, that's good. It was good. It was like potatoes and chicken and rice, some onions, but yeah, really good flavor. It's a good thing about Peru is I think this whole trip we're gonna have great food. The drinks, not as not as amazing maybe. Actually, we did pretty good. We did end up drinking a couple crafts of these things. But yeah, the Inca Cola wasn't my favorite, but at least the food's really good. $20, so yeah, it's fine. I think I found where we could go for dinner or hang out later. Yeah, not a bad day. You know, got out of town, no problems. The highways are pretty standard, not too busy or anything. Great lunch. Got here early. It's only about, it's not even 4 o'clock yet. So we probably could go further, but we did about, I don't know, 240 kilometers, and even that's like, you know, those seats, at first they seem comfortable, but you do a few hours and it kind of sucks, so. I did realize at the time walking at that beach that the islands just, I don't know, 10 miles away were some of the most important islands in the world. And it wasn't for gold or oil or anything like that. It was for the bird shit. Yeah, sounds kind of crazy. I had no idea about this part of history somehow. So what happened is, in many of the Western countries, you had big industrialization by the 1800s. So all these people moved to the cities, the populations got bigger, and then they were going to run out of food. And at the same time, all of the crops they'd used for so many years got depleted, and there were no more nutrients to grow crops. So they needed some kind of fertilizer. So people were already aware of guano, which is the bird shit basically, and the natives had already been using it for years in Peru, and the Spanish and other people had known about it for a few hundred years, but their priority at that time was gold. So a German scientist had brought that back to Europe, and they investigated it, and then at the same time, a lot of whaling ships were going to Peru and then unloading a bunch of goods that they were trading, and the boats were empty, so they ended up filling that with guano and bringing it to Europe and the United States and other places. And so this was like the cash cow for Peru for decades, and was super important to the growth of many Western countries. And the United States even made a law where that people could go and basically occupy different islands in the Caribbean and Pacific if there was guano there. And so it was kind of one of the first reasons why the US began to become an empire, was because of this guano. This is how Peru was getting the majority of their revenue every year, but the problem is that after a few decades, it began to run out. And around 1910, this German guy made the Haber-Bosch method, which was an industrial way to basically get these nutrients that they needed instead of relying on guano. But this was a super important part of Peruvian history and the history along that area, because there was many conflicts for this reason. Peru and Bolivia actually went to war with Chile over some of these coastal areas, and Bolivia used to have a coast and lost it because of these wars over these coastlines, because they were so important for guano. Even in small towns, they got the gated doors. Never a great sign, huh? It's like I better get home before dark, huh? It's not too bad. It seems a little off, but the other beers I've had though here are pretty good. Anyway, just chilling. I figured I could enjoy being outside. I figured in once that sun goes down, I probably need to go back indoors. I don't know. Looks like there's a few nice little bars and stuff along the beach here though, over here. And then on the other side over there, there's a few too, so we'll get dinner in a little bit somewhere around here anyway. Hopefully make it back alive. So yeah, tomorrow should be pretty cool. A couple more days in the desert. We'll head up to Arequipa. Then I guess head down to Bolivia. I think we're gonna have some issues trying to get into Bolivia with the bikes. The guy who we rented them from, I was like, can you take care of this for us? And he looked into it a little bit, and then he's like, oh, you can just go through there. We go there all the time, no problem. And I'm like, maybe for Peruvian nationals, but like I think foreigners just coming up with a motorcycle, like you need a lot of paperwork. So anyway, we're gonna roll out here in about 20 minutes. We're gonna cruise over to check out these Nazca lines. And then there's this Paracas Cliffs or park that's kind of just down the road here that looks pretty. And we've got Huachachina. That's a cool oasis that's out in the desert. So pretty cool day. See those three things. And then tomorrow there's some like mummified cemetery and stuff. So anyway, I should have some cool videos coming up. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be in Peru for a few weeks and hopefully going to Bolivia too. So I should have a lot of cool videos. And I just finished a dozen videos about my trip in Mexico on a motorcycle and hiking and stuff. So I'll see you later and take care. Cheers. Could you imagine, though, being some of the first explorers to this region, and you might be at sea for weeks or months and run out of water and food and everything, and it's like you finally see land. It's like, there's land, yeah! Oh, it's awesome. We're gonna get food, we're gonna get water, and it's like, it's a desert.